Dobrý den and welcome to Aviatická Put 2026 at Hradec Králové.
All new and yet very familiar. Welcome to Aviatická Put 2026 at Hradec Králové. Opening the flying display was the Czech Air Force with this CASA 295 medium transport aircraft. This was followed a bit later by this pair of Czech Gripens, led by Jan Ratz, coming over straight from their temporary home base at nearby Pardubice. More on that topic later.
Výkonové charakteristiky ve vysokohorském nebo horkém prostředí. Takže tady je další průlet letounu CASA C295.
On its second pass on Saturday, the CASA dropped a group of parachutists with round parachutes, as you can see here.
Letišti Praha-Kbely a provozuje je tam 242. transportní a speciální letka, která...
Unfortunately, a strong crosswind blew some of these parachutists outside the airfield perimeter, and some landed in the trees, necessitating a rescue by the fire department.
Ale na těch takzvaných...
The drop with steerable canopies on both days thankfully caused less drama.
Obraťte svou pozornost někam vysoko nad vás, kde už čeká Martin Šonka, český akrobatický.
An ambulance helicopter was also scrambled, but this didn't seem to be necessary in the end.
V šampionátu Red Bull Air Race, který o rok později už vyhrál.
The show was also an opportunity to see a replica of the Blériot 11 in the air. This is the aircraft the Pardubice native Jan Kasper, the first Czech pilot, flew on April 16th, 1910.
Celá řada průkopníků, to byl inženýr Jan Kašpar, no a v roce 69, necelých 70 let, 11, ten svůj památný přelet z Pardubic.
It made some passes while some reenactors in period dress admired the flight from the ground.
Pohonné jednotky, protože pohonná jednotka téhleté replice je moderní, tak přesně takhle ten letoun vypadal.
Opravdu navštívit u nás v Koněticích pod Konětickou horou na Pardubicku. Pokud zavítáte do této části naší republiky, tak jste srdečně zváni. Jinak veškeré informace, které se týkají naší expozice, kdy právě se snažíme udržet ten odkaz inženýra.
Just a year later, he flew his Blériot all the way from Pardubice to Prague.
Kašpar vzlétl ke svému letu, tak z knihy Václava Borovana bychom se dověděli, že v současné době probíhá.
A nice touch with the new location was the taxiing by of flying display participants, like this CLV pair.
Tak Martin už dal plný plyn. Tam je trošku specifický, že ten vrtulník je schopen akcelerovat daleko rychleji než to letadlo. Než nabere rychlost, tak ten vrtulník se musí výrazně odbržďovat, ale při dosažení určité rychlosti už jsou potom poměrně shodný.
Here we see the Pardubice-based CLV, the Czech Military Pilot Training Centre, with this recent addition to their fleet, the Enstrom 480. This machine is used to train military helicopter pilots.
Do Přerova na letiště Přerov-Bochoř. Kusů verze 480 BG speciálně přizpůsobených pro letecký výcvik CLV, a to jako náhradu za stejný počet vrtulníků MIL Mi-2. No a vůbec první N-stromy přistály v Pardubicích 20. června roku 2018.
Originally developed to meet the US Army's requirements for a turbine-powered training helicopter, the Enstrom 480 has since earned a reputation for versatility, safety and simplicity.
24, no a kromě toho létá rovněž z Líny 104.
Designed and manufactured in Menominee, Michigan, this helicopter blends rugged American engineering with refined performance. It has a wide, comfortable cabin with side-by-side seating for the pilot and 2 passengers up front, plus a rear bench.
Zemí celého světa. No a jako výcvikový vrtulník nepůsobí jen u nás, ale například i v Japonsku, v Thajsku, Rozinkové Guinei, v Kanadě nebo v Indonésii. Jarda Špaček se s námi loučí, zamávejte mu za krásné předvedení tohoto moderního
cykliky. To znamená, že většinu pohybu má dvěma rukama a nohama si pak dorovnává při každém manévru směr, protože gyroskopický moment, který se vyvolává jakýmkoliv pohybem kolektivu, budou nahrazeny novými vrtulníky Bell a Eurocopter. Jediné letadlo v centru leteckého výcviku, které je zahraniční, protože zbytek letadel, které zavádíme do výcviku pro nás, abychom začali měnit letadlem celou tu letovou flotilu v centru leteckého výcviku za novější typy a nové systémy.
The Czech-built Zlin Z242L Zeus represents the cornerstone of the modernised training fleet operated by the Flight Training Centre, CLV, of Lom Prague. Designed to meet the evolving requirements of contemporary military pilot instruction, the aircraft combines the proven reliability of the renowned Zlin training platform with advanced avionics and enhanced operational capabilities. It is a 2-seat, single-engine trainer certified for both VFR and IFR operations. The Z242L provides an effective environment for elementary and advanced flight training, including aerobatic instruction. Its state-of-the-art glass cockpit, ergonomic side-by-side seating arrangement, and robust all-metal construction enable a seamless transition from basic flight skills to more demanding operational tasks. Flying the aircraft here is famed Czech aerobatic pilot Martin Sonka, who we'll see in action again later for even more high-performance aerobatics.
Je to vlastně něco trochu jiného, protože ta filozofie západních, nebo respektive amerických motorů se pohybuje.
The integration of the Z242L into CLV's training system reflects a strategic commitment to delivering efficient, cost-effective, and internationally aligned pilot education. By incorporating modern technologies while maintaining the exceptional handling characteristics for which Zlin aircraft are recognised, the platform supports the preparation of future military aviators to NATO standards and the increasingly complex demands of contemporary air operations.
tak tento letoun je výborný pro žáky, protože jeho pilotáž není vůbec složitá, není to záludné letadlo, je bezpečný.
Considered by many to be the main star of the 2026 show, this is a Eurofighter Typhoon, or Eurofighter 2000 as it is known in Germany. The pilot is one of two German Air Force EF-2000 display pilots, Noble. He comes from 74 Tactical Wing, based at Neuburg in beautiful Bavaria. The unit performs air policing in southern Germany and has been flying this type since 2006. As you can see, the aircraft wears a beautiful paint scheme to participate in the 2026 Tiger Meet at Araxos in Greece. Germany has 4 EF-2000 bases at the moment. Germany is ordering additional Eurofighters to complement the 138 already delivered to their Air Force. Fifteen of these are intended to replace the Tornado electronic combat and reconnaissance fighter bombers. These will be used for electronic warfare and suppressing enemy air defences. The German Air Force will also introduce the F-35 in its ranks shortly to improve the country's combat effectiveness. The airfield at Hradec Králové welcomed the 2026 edition of Aviatická pohoď, now that the Czech Gripens have moved to the original location at Pardubice, while their usual home-based Záslav undergoes heavy reconstruction in preparation for the F-35. That means Hradec Králové hosts a large air show again, after the demise of the Czech International Airfest and Legends of the Sky. The airfield regularly hosts large events. A week after Aviatická pohoď, it would, for instance, be the venue of Rock for People again, for instance. Visitors could go for a helicopter ride, or shop for souvenirs with traders and participants. A large catering zone offered a varied and affordable selection of food and drinks. There was also ample static to admire at the airfield, also thanks to locally based aircraft, many of which belong to the company DSA. Pardubice-based CLV was another popular participant in the static. Most of the flying participants could also be admired on the ground. An extensive kids zone was also very popular. In the chill zone, visitors could also attend the recording of a popular Czech aviation podcast, while local modelling clubs and flight simulator fans also presented their activities to the audience at the show. A classic car display could also be found on the airfield, just like at Pardubice. The organisers succeeded in transplanting the most important elements of the airshow at Pardubice to this new venue, to the delight of the audience, including the impressive, centrally located reenactment zone. Overall, the move to this new location, however temporarily or permanently it turns out to be, can be seen as a great success. Here we see Dan Griffith with the Junkers A50 Junior. The newly built Junkers A50 is not a replica in the museum sense. It is better described as a continuation of the original concept. Developed by Junkers Aircraft, it deliberately preserves the character and appearance of the 1929 A50 Junior, with its unmistakable corrugated metal skin, tandem open cockpit, and elegant proportions, while incorporating the technology and safety standards expected of a modern aircraft.
Sportovním pilotům výkonný a přitom jednoduchý a laciný stroj. K pohonu Junkersu sloužily různé hvězdicové motory nebo hvězdicové motory různého typu.
The result is an aeroplane that looks as though it has taxied straight out of the interwar years, yet is certified and equipped for contemporary flying.
Dálkových nebo okružních letů do všech koutů světa. Junkersy se skutečně dostaly téměř na všechny kontinenty. No a snad ty dva nejznámější dálkové lety, které byly podniknuty s těmito letouny, byl let německé pilotky Margit von Etzdorf v roce 1931.
The original A50 Junior was created to make flying accessible, enjoyable and practical for private pilots.
V 30. letech bylo jedním z velice oblíbených cílů těch dálkových pilotů.
The new A50 pursues the same philosophy for the 21st century. It invites pilots to experience the romance and simplicity of open cockpit flight without sacrificing reliability or safety. Always a highlight at Aviatic Kapot is the demonstration of the Czech Flying Bulls. This year they performed their full four-ship display again with their agile SBAC XA-42s. During the display, the pilots are subjected to forces of +7 and -5 times the force of gravity. The team specialises in manoeuvres with negative G-forces in close formation, which makes their display unique. Leading the team is Stanislav Tsejka, one of 3 Gripen pilots in the team. The team used to be known as Rhombik and later Skybox, before adopting the name Czech Flying Bulls as part of a sponsorship agreement with the Austrian energy drink manufacturer. In 2015, they transitioned from their Zlin 50 to their current aircraft. The SBAC XA-42 first flew in 2008 and is a design of German aerobatics pilot Philipp Steinbach. Czech security forces are becoming a regular feature at the event. They provided 2 different demonstrations this year. one escorting a bus which becomes the target of a terrorist attack, and another one intercepting an illegal migrant transport.
Tak právě máme za sebou tu první fázi dynamického zákroku, kterou já jsem záměrně nekomentoval, abyste si ji užili. Osoby mohou být ozbrojené, mohou být pod vlivem drog, alkoholu, pod velkým stresem, nebo se prostě mohou pokusit o útěk a proto každý takový zákrok musí být brán absolutně razantně.
Coming over from Switzerland for a very different type of display are the wonderful classic formation, presenting a C-47 in the lead and two Beech 18s joining it for a unique formation display with some interesting elements such as crossing maneuvers.
Kanadském severu. Tak a máme tady C-47 a dvojici, dnes tedy pouze dvojici letounů Beech 18.
The C-47 is the military variant of the famous DC-3 airliner that gained fame for its role in liberation operations during World War II and served all over the world for decades after. The Beech Model 18s are classic American twin-engined aircraft that served across the globe from the 1930s well into the 1970s. Known for their versatility, the Beech 18 was used for training, cargo, light bombing and VIP transport. In civilian life, it became a staple of early commercial air travel and business aviation.
Těchto letounů, které měly na palubách.
No a vybrali si právě Beech 18 a tím začala druhá kapitola života tohoto stroje.
Bombardovacích letadel, protože se zahájením války a se vstupem tedy Spojených států do války po přepadení Pearl Harboru jich bylo třeba obrovské množství. Švarce, Vilibalda Šťovíka, Miloslava Pokorného a brankáře Zdeňka Jarkovského, ale bohužel do cíle nikdy nedoletěli a zřítilo se letadlo s nimi do Lamanšského průlivu.
One of the show's main sponsors was DSA, and they presented two of their helicopters at the show this year. Here we see their first display, with the Airbus helicopters H135. DSA is specialised in urgent medical interventions, sometimes in remote areas. They also provide air taxi and aerial transport services, aerial filming, mapping tasks and helicopter flight training.
Speciálně pro leteckou záchrannou službu.
Here they present a simulation of a rescue in a hard-to-reach spot. The medic gets out of the helicopter, away from the rescue site, and is dropped off near the victim while slung under the helicopter.
Výrazně snižuje celkovou hlučnost vrtulníku a také zvyšuje bezpečnost jeho provozu na zemi, protože vlastně ty vrtule nebo vrtulové listy konkrétně toho záďového rotoru jsou vlastně kapotovány a kryty v tom fenestronu. Takže jsme viděli vyzvednutí vlastně záchranáře, který teď vlastně odlétá na vrtulníku v podvěsu. Jsou známy právě především díky jejich působení u společnosti DSA, tyhle ty žluto-modré záchranářské vrtulníky, létající pod volacím znakem Kryštof s číslem podle toho, která základna, o kterou základnu se právě jedná, tak pevně věřím tomu, že znáte úplně všichni. Jinak kromě společnosti DSA, která tyhle ty vrtulníky provozuje, jsou vlastně vyráběny ve verzích pro VIP přepravu.
After stabilizing the person in distress, both the victim and rescuer are picked up.
Vlastně i ten druhý aspekt té činnosti vrtulníků provozovaných společností DSA tady z Hradce Králové. Jsou to nejenom převozy pacientů anebo let do terénu, tam, kde se stane.
Somehow, Czech rescuers appear to be enjoying being flung around underneath the helicopter.
Problém, ale samozřejmě je to i záchranná činnost, například v horách, piloti musí zvládnout, vyzvednout. Původně
DSA have their corporate headquarters at the Hradec Králové airfield. The H-135 is a twin-turbine helicopter with a four-bladed main rotor and a Finestron tail rotor shrouded into the tail boom. This helps with noise pollution and improves flight safety.
DSA má ve své flotile i piloty, kteří jsou vlastně civilními piloty, jednoho z těch nejlepších a zároveň práce leteckých záchranářů. Protože vrtulníky společnosti DSA, protože jiné záchranářské vrtulníky neplní.
Once the helicopter can safely land again, it picks up the medic and victim for a more comfortable ride to the nearest hospital.
Nehoda nebo nějaké jiné zranění, ale v zimních měsících se poměrně často třeba letá do hor. To jsou to Krkonoše, nebo Šumava, nebo třeba Krušné hory. Zamáhejte nejen Horákovi, Nejášovi, ale i jeho kolegům.
Down from the planned four-ship, one Fokker returning home early to avoid bad weather, Aviatitska Pote Squadron staged a three-ship mock dogfight using a collection of World War I replicas over the airfield.
Aviatik je nejúspěšnějším stíhacím strojem v tehdejším Rakousku-Uhersku, byl licenčně vyráběný stíhací dvouplošník Albatros D3 Berg. Továrna se jmenovala Aviatik a tím konstruktérem, který navrhnul ten stroj, tak byl pan Julius.
In action here we see two French aircraft, the red Newport 17 and camouflaged Marine MS-139. They are engaging an Aviatik D-1 Berg. This was the first Austrian-designed fighter aircraft to enter production, serving prominently with the Austro-Hungarian Air Force in World War I.
Totiž nesloužili jenom na západní frontě ve francouzském letectvu, ale protože se jednalo o velice úspěšnou konstrukci, která jako jedna z několika vlastně přivedla stíhací letectvo společnosti Maki. No a ty italské stroje, na kterých létala právě třeba stíhací vrtulník Aviatik Berg.
Known for its excellent flying characteristics, superior climb performance and good pilot visibility, it played a significant role in the latter stages of the war. The red aircraft you see during this routine is a replica of a Newport 17. The Newport 17 was a French single-seat fighter aircraft introduced in 1916 during World War I. Designed by the Newport Company, it was renowned for its speed, agility and excellent climbing ability, making it one of the most successful fighter aircraft of its era.
No a to mělo, že v okamžiku, kdy pilot vystřílel celý zásobník, zpravidla se jednalo o kulomety, britské kulomety Lewis, které měly bubnové zásobníky, tak pilot pak volil za letu vyměnit. Udělat to šlo, ty kulomety byly montované na takových speciálních kapitána Louise Strange, který nás tedy pásal, aby mohl v kokpitu si stoupnout a zabrat větší silou. A v ten okamžik, kdy prostě se dotáhl z toho kokpitu ven, tak buď to si nohou kopnul do knipu, nebo zkrátka převrátil vítr ten letoun a Louis Strange zůstal vyset vlastně z toho letadla, které se obrátilo podvozkem nahoru a vysel tam vlastně jenom za ten zásobník vysoko.
The third aircraft in this demo is an MS-139 replica, a trainer from the 1920s, so from well after the First World War.
Tohoto stroje zkonstruovaného Juliusem Bergem spočívala v tom,
For many airshow enthusiasts, the name Martin Schonker is synonymous with precision, speed, and uncompromising skill. The Czech pilot first rose to international prominence as a competitor in the Red Bull Air Race, becoming the first pilot from the Czech Republic to claim the prestigious World Championship title in 2018. He is a former Czech Air Force fighter pilot and member of the national aerobatic team. He also delivers his own commentary from the cockpit during his display. At the heart of his performance is the Extra 300 SR, a single-seat aerobatic aircraft renowned for its exceptional agility and power. Powered by a 325 horsepower Lycoming engine, the Extra 300 SR is capable of extraordinary roll rates and high G-load maneuvers, making it ideally suited to top-level competition and display flying. It was developed from the successful Extra 300 series with the aim of competing in the Red Bull Air Race. In the end, the aircraft did not become an air race favourite, that role actually going to the Živko Edge 540 instead. Hradec Králové, located in northeastern Czechia on the banks of the Elbe River, is one of the country's most important regional cities. It has a population of approximately 95,000 inhabitants. It is renowned for its high quality of life, extensive green spaces, and distinctive architecture. The The city's history dates back more than 1,000 years. During the Middle Ages, it became a royal town of the Kingdom of Bohemia and developed into an important centre of trade and administration. Today, the city hosts a diverse industrial base that includes engineering, electronics, healthcare, and information technology. The lively squares in the historic centre and the commercial centre give the city a terrific ambience. Several universities and research institutions contribute to a skilled workforce and foster innovation across the region. It is certainly well worth a visit, exploring the city and the wider region. Then, the show presented a tranquil, peaceful scene.
No a my se vlastně přeneseme díky našim hercům z řad.
Before the sirens went off over Pearl Harbor, it was a plain Hawaiian paradise, with a Boeing steerman showing the joy of flying. War seemed far away. You see people on the ground going about their business, enjoying nice weather, decorating the house, organizing a family barbecue or meeting the neighbors.
Jedná se skutečně o jednu z ikon cvičného pozdě.
The legendary biplane on which generations of American pilots learned how to fly flies peacefully overhead. And then, one of the pivotal moments in history happened, when Japanese strike aircraft appeared overhead, dropping their deadly load onto unsuspecting Americans.
No a to, co je zajímavé, pokud jste viděli ten úžasný americký film Tora.
Air defences quickly get activated, but they stand little chance in the unrelenting onslaught when wave after wave of bombers strike. The Stearman doubled as a strike aircraft on Sunday, giving the impression of aerial strikes. These scenes are one of the characteristics of Aviatická Put.
Zájemce vesměs pro armády NATO, ale máme tam zkušenosti I s poslucháči.
Pardubitz-based CLV made a welcome appearance, with a heritage formation consisting of 4 aircraft, a Yak-11 at the front, 2 L-39Cs, and a shiny new L-39NG Skyfox. CLV operates 4 L-39NG Skyfoxes, with an option for 4 more airframes.
L-39 nemusíme moc představovat, to je letadlo, které lítá. Na první pohled se zdá, L-39 připravili pro vás potom ukázku. A teď je vidět na konci křídla právě ty předtena.
The entry into service of the L-39NG signals the end of service life for the L-39C Albatros of CLV, performing a farewell display over Hradec Králové.
Tak s 39 si dokázali poradit, protože do mnoha států se
The CLV has long relied on a core fleet of 7 standard, unarmed L-39C Albatros aircraft for advanced flight training.
Externí letecké záběry použité ve filmu Top Gun.
The L-39C uses traditional mechanical analog gauges. The Skyfox introduces a full-glass digital cockpit with hands-on throttle and stick controls. The L-39C uses an old Soviet-designed turbofan, which produces far less thrust than the modern Williams International in the L-39NG.
39, tak dvě L-30. Ten samotný fakt, že Tom Cruise má P-51 Mustang a L-39 Albatros, mě to zní dobře. Má dobrý vkus.
The C-11 is a Czech license-built version of the Soviet Yak-11 training aircraft.
Tak nenastoupá do takové výšky. A pro akrobaci s tímto letounem
This is operated by the CLV Heritage Flight.
Většina profilů jsou sagy s tím, že eliptické křídlo umožňuje dosažení poměrně velké obratnosti a rychlosti. Bohužel je to na...
The aircraft is owned by the Military Historical Institute from Prague. Over 700 C-11s were built by Let Kunovice.
Přistupuje. Nicméně to nebere nic na spolehlivosti motoru a výkonnosti toho celého letounu. V 50. letech v závodech první pětiletky v Kunovicích, kdy se přivezl vagón nebo vlak.
The original Yak-11 entered service in the late 1940s and was based on the World War II Yak-3 fighter.
Kusů a prodávali se do přátelených zemí tehdejšího systému. Se musí pravidelně a pečlivě kontrolovat. Takže žádná replika. Je to originální kousek z 50. Bylo v roce 2018, kdy Vladimír Peroutka, to je takový nestor pro tento typ, ji dokázal zase oživit pro letání. Od té doby provozujeme...
The Zlín Trenner took its place at Aviatická Pot again thanks to the Trenner box formation.
Ty letouny řady Trenner, které se vyráběly v celé řadě variant od Z-26 až...
This plane was the basic trainer of the Czechoslovak Air Force and where trainee pilots achieved their dream of flight.
Trénovali a připravovali ten hromadný průlet, takzvané balbo, které je součástí každého sletu. Myšlenka na to, zkrátka, když už to děláme tady, proč vlastně nezaložit takovouhle skupinu létání na letounech Trenner.
Trenner Box was created at the gathering of Czechoslovak aircraft in 2022 as a tribute to 75 years of the Zlín 26 series.
A dnes tady máme Trenner Box.
A one-off meeting became a project that now connects pilots who enjoy the experience of flying together in formation with 4 different versions of the Z526. They do this in honour of Czechoslovak pilots and engineers and all who ever sat in the cockpit of this family of aircraft.
Pilotem od druhé světové války, respektive od toho poválečného období.
As is almost a tradition, the Flying Bulls sent over a few of their warbirds over from their Hangar 7 fleet at Salzburg in Austria.
To zpětné inženýrství, že z těch vlastně různých C-11.
On Saturday, one of them suffered a technical snag after takeoff, limiting them to a pairs display instead of a 3-ship. But on Sunday, they did manage to display with all 3 together.
Co by šéf flotily Flying Bulls v Salzburgu, ceněný a známý testovací a zkušební pilot. Když skončil tu kariéru vlastně zkušebního pilota, tak pak dlouhé roky létal na airshow právě s krásným žlutě zbarveným.
Leading this formation is a P-38 Lightning, a twin-engine fighter, fighter bomber and long-range escort aircraft that carved its reputation across the vast distances of the Pacific during World War II. Its unmistakable twin-boom design made it instantly recognisable. Powered by 2 turbocharged Allison V12 engines, this nearly 8-ton aircraft could surge to an astonishing 760 kilometers per hour, an almost futuristic speed for its time.
40 pilotů Trenner Boxu, kteří tady teď pojíždí před námi. Je to stejně jako včera, krásné vystoupení a my se těšíme, že za rok uvidíme.
Flying alongside the P-38 was a P-51 Mustang, a successful fighter and attack aircraft, made famous in Western Europe during World War II, able to escort bombers all the way to Berlin and back, greatly improving their survival chances. The third aircraft in this formation was the F-4U Corsair, instantly recognisable by its dramatic inverted gull wings. It allowed a massive propeller to spin safely above rough carrier decks, while keeping the landing gear short and sturdy. The wings even fold to fit aboard crowded carriers. This magnificent 3-ship was immensely popular at the show.
A během 120 let vznikl věrný pes, tak ať už to byl starý žluťák nebo věrný pes. Byl to zkrátka, proč vlastně konstruktéři zvolili takovou konstrukci toho křídla. Ten letoun má velice výkonný motor, je to dvouhvězdicový motor,
Displaying for the first time in Czechia was Jakub Hollander with Scandinavian Catwalk. This is a Swedish team.
Vlastně, co se ve vzduchu ukáže flotila letounů Flying Bulls, které přiletěly tak, jak to bývá.
The team uses the Grumman Agcat as its display aircraft. They don't have one but two wing walkers on the aircraft, or between the wings during the display, assuming various poses. To liven up the commentary, they added a tiger roar sound effect during passes. The Grumman Agcat was a rugged agricultural aircraft developed in the 1950s, specifically for aerial crop spraying and farm operations. Designed by Grumman Aircraft Engineering Corporation and first flown in 1957, the Agcat became one of the most successful and recognizable agricultural aircraft ever built. Its sturdy biplane configuration, excellent low-speed handling, and ability to operate from short, unimproved airstrips made it ideal for demanding agricultural work. Over decades of service, the Agcat earned a reputation for reliability, durability, and effectiveness, becoming a familiar sight over farms across North America and around the world. Towards the end of the display, the demonstration gets more aerobatic, and colourful smoke enhances the manoeuvres in the sky.
Výkrut tohoto všechno tam musíte holky mezi těmi křídly zkrátka vydržet. Wing walkerky, tak jak se správně jmenují, tak jsou během toho letu vystaveny prostě tomu obrovskému proudění vzduchu a přetížení při těch akrobatických obratech.
Before landing, the two wing walkers must get into the front cockpit of the Agcat together, which must certainly be quite snug.
A může jim způsobit značné problémy. Však on také, Jacob Hollander, co je akrobatický pilot, vlastně patří mezi nejznámější.
Noble performed two demonstrations with his Typhoon on each day. The second demonstration on Saturday, he flew with the standard painted aircraft, which could also be seen in the static park. The Airbus Helicopters AS350 Écureuil is one of the most versatile single-engine helicopters in service today. At Hradec Králové Airport, Czech operator DSA has used the type for a wide range of commercial missions, including aerial work, passenger transport, and specialised aviation services. DSA introduced its first AS350 B3E in 2013, expanding a fleet already known for emergency medical services, pilot training, and maintenance activities. The helicopter's strong performance, reliability, and ability to operate from confined areas make it particularly well suited to the diverse missions carried out by the company. Here we see the type demonstrating a capability that may be less known, as the ground crew attach a Bambi bucket. This enables the Écureuil to also perform firefighting missions.
Ale teď už se zase přesuneme od letání po filmově k něčemu úplně jinému. Otevře ten bambivak a přiměl nám vlastně hasení právě tou vodou, která je nesena v bambivaku. Jedná se o jednu z variant, jak se mohou vrtulníky vlastně zapojit do toho hašení požáru. Je to velice bohužel aktuální téma vzhledem k těm změnám ke kterým dochází v rámci těch klimatických změn. Skutečně bojuje s extrémně řídkým vzduchem, také silným větrem a pochopitelně díky tomu řídkému vzduchu naprosto minimálním tlakem. Tak ale teď už se pojďme vlastně věnovat tady tomu, co vidíme nad plochou letiště Hradec Králové a Domu Tučkovi.
Closing the show was this unusual aircraft, set to some appropriate bucolic music. For decades, the Z-37 Chmelak was a familiar sight above the fields of Central and Eastern Europe, its distinctive radial engine and rugged silhouette becoming synonymous with agricultural aviation. Developed in Czechoslovakia during the early 1960s, the aircraft was designed specifically for crop spraying and dusting operations, at a time when agricultural mechanization was expanding rapidly. The prototype made its maiden flight on June 29, 1963, and series production began 2 years later. Built through a collaboration under the Zlín name, the Chmelak, whose Czech nickname translates as Bumblebee, quickly established a reputation as a dependable and easy-to-maintain workhorse. Hopefully you enjoyed this airshow debrief. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and see you for a next report soon.